You think the scent of fresh laundry is the scent of clean. You believe that if a product is on the supermarket shelf in bright, cheerful packaging, it must have passed rigorous safety testing for daily use in your home. But what if I told you that the very products you trust to remove stains are quietly introducing a chemical load into your environment that your body was never designed to handle? For the average adult, these exposures are problematic. But for those over age, and particularly for individuals managing common conditions, the risks are not merely theoretical. They are acute. As physiology changes with age, the body's ability to process airborne particulates and dermal toxins diminishes. What was merely a minor irritation 20 years ago can become a significant health burden today. Today, we are setting aside marketing claims. We are looking at data sheets and cumulative exposure risks. We will identify 9 distinct categories of stain removal products you should absolutely avoid, and define the only 2 that are genuinely safe for a vulnerable household. 1. Chlorine bleach. The first item is perhaps the most common. The sharp, biting smell of chlorine bleach is unmistakable. It is the smell of your mother's kitchen, a scent deeply associated in our cultural memory with sterile white perfection. Yet, for older adults, that very scent is a signal of respiratory assault. Research suggests that sodium hypochlorite, the active ingredient, readily vaporizes into chloramines when it encounters organic matter. Health agencies warn that even low-level chronic exposure can exacerbate existing bronchial conditions and reduce lung function over time. Do not be misled by low-splash or scented varieties. The fundamental chemistry remains corrosive to delicate mucous membranes. The damage isn't just immediate coughing. It is the silent, gradual irritation of lung tissue with every wash cycle. A simple hot water soak is often just as effective for whitening without the hazardous vapor. But bleach is an obvious offender. The next product on our list is likely sitting in your cabinet right now, disguised by a lemon-fresh scent. 2. Ammonia-based cleaners. It cuts through grease with squeaky efficiency, a staple in glass and surface cleaners for decades. However, for aging eyes and airways, ammonia is a potent irritant. It is highly volatile. Studies have shown that airborne ammonia concentrations in poorly ventilated spaces like a bathroom can quickly exceed recommended safety limits, leading to corneal irritation and respiratory distress. Many multi-surface cleaners hide their ammonia content under generic terms like cleaning agents on the label. The real danger here lies in accidental mixing. A forgotten drop of bleach meets this product, and it creates chloramine gas, a dire medical emergency that older adults with reduced olfactory sense may not detect until it is too late. Plain white vinegar handles most household grease without this volatility. While you might avoid liquid ammonia, you might not realize you are aerosolizing similar chemicals with our third item. 3. Aerosol laundry pre-treaters. The convenient hiss of the aerosol can promise effortless stain removal before the wash even begins. That hiss is the sound of chemistry becoming inhalable. These products often rely on propellants like butane or propane, mixed with fine mists of powerful surfactants and optical brighteners. Regulatory bodies note that these aerosolized microdroplets are small, enough to bypass nasal filtration and enter deep lung tissue. Even those labeled CFC-free still utilize volatile organic compounds as propellants. Furthermore, it leaves a residue on fabrics that can transfer to skin long after the clothes are dry, a potential trigger for contact dermatitis in older, thinner skin. A solid laundry bar soap rubbed onto the stain creates no airborne particles. If you are finding this information valuable in protecting your home environment, consider clicking the like button so this research can reach others who need to hear it. We move now from laundry sprays to a product many regard as a miracle worker for biological disasters. 4. Enzyme cleaners with solvent stabilizers. They are marketed as bio-enzymatic miracles, able to naturally eat away pet stains and odors. While enzymes themselves are generally benign, the liquid they swim in often is not. To keep enzymes stable on a shelf for 2 years, manufacturers often use powerful solvents like propylene glycol ethers. Environmental health studies link certain glycol ethers to blood and kidney toxicity with chronic exposure. The word bio on the label distracts from the synthetic stabilizers listed deep in the fine print of the safety data sheet. These solvents cling to carpet fibers, slowly off-gassing near the floor, exactly where grandchildren or pets might be playing. Blotting immediately with plain club soda is surprisingly effective for fresh biological stains without the solvent load. The next offender uses the power of oxygen, but packages it with hidden respiratory irritants. 5. Scented oxy powders. They bubble satisfyingly in hot water and promise the whitening power of oxygen without the harshness of chlorine. The danger here is not the oxygen. It is the fresh scent payload delivered along with it. In standard consumer goods, the term fragrance on an ingredient list can hide hundreds of undisclosed chemicals, including phthalates, which are known endocrine disruptors. When these powders dissolve in hot water, those fragrance chemicals vaporize rapidly into the immediate breathing zone. Even sensitive skin versions of these powders sometimes contain masking fragrances to cover the chemical smell of the raw ingredients. For those with compromised cardiovascular systems, studies suggest inhaled synthetic fragrances can trigger subtle, unwanted changes in heart rate variability. Pure sodium percarbonate powder, bought in bulk without additives, offers the same oxygenating action without the scent cloud. Next, we examine a product hidden in the closet, used perhaps only once a year, but possessing significant toxicity. 6. At-home dry cleaning kits. A plastic bag, a moist towel, and 20 minutes in the dryer seem like a convenient, money-saving hack for delicate items. In reality, you are essentially turning your tumble dryer into a chemical fume chamber. These kits often rely on chemicals like glycol ethers or siloxanes. When heated, these chemicals vaporize and eventually vent into your home or immediate neighborhood. The EPA has repeatedly flagged traditional dry cleaning solvents for their neurotoxic potential, and at-home versions are often merely lesser-known substitutions. Claims of being gentler than the professional cleaner are misleading. They simply substitute one hazardous solvent for another. The invisible risk is the residual solvent remaining on the clothing, pressing against the skin during wear, and gradually off-gassing in your closet. Most dry clean-only items can be safely steam cleaned with plain water vapor. The 7th item on our list uses natural branding to mask a volatile reality. 7. natural citrus solvent cleaners. The intense smell of oranges feels clean, vibrant, and earthy. But concentrated D-limonene, the oil extracted from citrus peels used in these heavy-duty degreasers, is a powerful skin sensitizer and respiratory irritant for older adults. Furthermore, atmospheric science research indicates that when airborne D-limonene reacts with common indoor ozone, it creates formaldehyde, a known human carcinogen. Just because it comes from a fruit does not mean it is safe to inhale in concentrated form daily. The reaction that creates formaldehyde happens invisibly in the air, often peaking minutes after you have finished cleaning and left the room. A simple paste of baking soda and water is an effective non-volatile abrasive for tough stains. We are approaching the most acutely toxic items. Number 8 is rarely used but incredibly dangerous. 8. Chemical rust removers. You have a stubborn rust stain on a sink or a favored shirt, and this small bottle promises instant dissolution. These are among the most corrosive substances sold to consumers. Many rely on hydrofluoric acid or high concentrations of oxalic acid. Health agencies warn that hydrofluoric acid, in particular, can penetrate skin quickly, destroying deep tissue and bone, sometimes without immediate pain, to warn you of the exposure. There is no safe version of a chemical rust remover. Their very function requires extreme acidity. Inhalation of the fumes during application can cause immediate, severe damage to the lining of the throat and lungs, a catastrophic event for those with existing respiratory weakness. Lemon juice and salt, left in the sun, is a slow but safe traditional method for rust on fabric. If you wish to stay informed on these quiet domestic risks, subscribe to the channel for continued investigation into household safety. The final item to avoid is the one you likely use most often, covering the largest surface area in your home. 9. Foaming carpet spot cleaners. You spray the foam, watch it lift the dirt, and let it dry. It seems effortless, but you are embedding a chemical residue into the fibers of your home. These foams are heavy in surfactants that do not evaporate. Studies show these residues become sticky, actually attracting more dirt later, but more importantly, they crumble and become part of household dust, which is continuously inhaled. Pet-safe labels on these products usually refer only to acute toxicity if ingested, not the chronic inhalation risks for humans living above the carpet. For adults spending significant time indoors, this constant low-level exposure to aerosolized surfactant dust contributes to chronic bodily inflammation. It is overwhelming to realize that tools we trust are working against us. But you do not need a chemistry lab to remove a stain safely. There are two staples that belong in the home of every older adult. Safe item 1, 3% hydrogen peroxide, medical grade. First, 3% medical grade hydrogen peroxide. Unlike chlorine bleach, when peroxide finishes its work, it breaks down into pure water and oxygen. It is an effective disinfectant and whitener that leaves absolutely no toxic residue behind. Safe item 2, unscented liquid Castile soap. Second, unscented liquid Castile soap. This is soap in its purest form, made from vegetable oils without synthetic detergents, foaming agents, or artificial fragrances. It is gentle on the skin and respiratory system. yet effective at breaking down grease and dirt when combined with warm water. The transition to a safer home is not about buying more. It is about using less. By eliminating these 9 sources of indoor pollution, you reduce the cumulative burden on your body, allowing it to focus its energy on maintenance and health rather than detoxification. Be vigilant, read the fine print, and stay safe.